Well, the trustees as a group are collectively responsible for the overall direction and the strategy, so-called, of the hospice. So what services should we be offering? Where should we be offering them? How much of this and how much of that? All of those things are decided by the group of trustees. There are lots of other things they do as well, but that's the kind of fundamental point, I think.
So I'm part of the clinical governance group, part of the people's group, and obviously attend the board meetings and things like that. I was one of the cancer care matrons at Southampton and managed the 30-bedded hospice as it was then with community services and day unit and things. So when that got taken over by the charity and I was redeployed, and I really missed working in palliative care, and then this opportunity came up which was too good to miss. And although I live in Southampton, I've got lots of friends and family that live in Dorset, so it's still really nice to do something for the community, even if it's not my own local community.
Well, I'm involved on the clinical governance group. I've been a GP in the Weymouth, Dorset area for over 30 years. And so I've sort of seen firsthand the benefits, both from the inpatient unit, but also particularly what happens in the community.
Well, I've been delighted to join the hospice. And there are a number of reasons why I joined. The first and the most important, and the most obvious one in a way, is what the hospice does is incredibly important. What hospices do up and down the country is incredibly important. From
a GP perspective, it gave us access to incredibly skilled nurses and doctors. So when we were struggling, we'd ask the Weldmar nurses for advice what to do, which was always just an easy, accessible, wonderful thing. But for patients, one of the key things to me is it took away a lot of their fear. So by taking away the anxiety from family and from the patients themselves, their last few months or weeks of life became a good time of life rather than unpleasant.
I knew a little bit about the hospice. I didn't know a lot about it, but I knew a little bit about it because I'd been working at the hospital for 7 years in total. And I knew that the hospice was a well-organised and well-run and incredibly highly valued organisation.
I think one of my favourite parts is that as part of the clinical governance group, we do clinical assurance visits. So go and shadow the teams for a day, just making sure that they're happy in their work. So it's about their well-being as well as what they're doing for the patients. So this year I visited the community team down in Lyme Regis and shadowed them and saw what complex work they do and what passionate they are about their jobs. And I think that's why I love doing the trustee. It's nice being able to stand back on the outside, see what's going on, and just help them improve their services and make sure that we're giving the best care to our patients.
It's very tightly knit. It has very high levels of commitment, very high levels of professional skill, I think, and a strong sense of common purpose. And that means it's a great place to work and to be a part of. It's a privilege to be a part of it.
I think it helps with my passion, because I have a passion for palliative care, really like supporting the staff. I think I understand, having had an inpatient unit in the community, I've got that understanding of how hard their job is and how different their job is from working in an acute trust, and staff well-being is vitally important as well as the patient's well-being in order for them to give the patients the best care. And I feel in this role we get to do a bit of that, because we get to talk to the staff, make sure they're okay, and have a look at approve all their policies and procedures and all that kind of thing, which is really important, making sure that we're keeping on top of the CQC requirements. So I get to see both sides, I suppose, so just help Weldmar grow.
It's incredibly rewarding. The first couple of meetings I came to, I was sort of fairly nervous, and there's so many amazing people that are already part of the team. So to be able to fill in a little bit of a role where the clinical governance side perhaps needed bolstering compared to some of the other teams, just meant that I could use, I hope, some of the skills that I developed over the years to give a little bit of my input, just to keep it going. Because as you said earlier, it's just an amazing organisation. It really has sort of changed people's lives.